Gina,
Uh-huh.
I think I haven't taken a rest day in quite some time.
You're listening to
Jom Sembang, Malaysia.
polar opposite to you. I think I've had quite a lot of rest days, but it never seems to be enough. Like I find that lately, right, if I wake up and my body is tired or my brain is jammed and I try to work and I cannot work, then I just call it an off day and I go and water my plants and then play with my pet and then go shopping and tell my mom, come, let's go to the mall and sit because of the heat wave, right? Sit down and I say I'll bring my laptop and work and then I feel like I really don't feel like working. I just sit down and chat and then I have this red alarm pile of deadlines going ding 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 ding. But I just take the rest because I just took rest. But then it never feel really restful because at the end of the day I will rest one day and then the next day I catch up, then rest one day, the next day catch up. So I don't know whether this rest catch up,
I
rest
see what you
catch
mean.
up is
Yeah.
actually rest. So
But would you
yeah,
say that rest helped you to clear space in your brain so that the next day you can be efficient?
maybe. So there are a few ways I would consider rest.
Okay.
Okay, number one is I really cannot work and I thought I'll take a rest and my rest equals to clean the house. Because I find that when I clean the house, I see space being clean,
Yeah.
I see things being decluttered and all that. I feel like my mind follows that.
Right.
Like my mind is also cleared up
Decluttered,
together with the entire cleaning process.
Okay.
And sometimes I call that rest.
Okay.
Because it's for me, it's rest from work lah. Yeah, so and that really works for me lah. So sometimes I really try very hard to work, I cannot write. Then I spend the whole day just cleaning the house and everything.
Yeah.
By the time my brain is ready to work, it's 8 p.m. at night lah.
Mm.
So my definition of rest might be different from yours. So what's your definition of rest?
Maybe like not doing anything work related for at least one day a week. I mean, technically we call it the Sabbath, right? But I don't find myself doing that because I feel like, I don't know why it's been so hectic. I feel like March was, I'm just like trying to get ready for April and then, okay. And then like the first week went, then I'm like, okay, done. And then, I need to chase up with all these other things. So I almost feel like I need a holiday, but then, I don't know, I haven't gone on a holiday just for holiday for ages as well.
Anyway, you don't go for a holiday yeah.
Yeah.
It's not your practice or culture. Unlike me, I go for holiday for self-rewards, But yeah, all that aside, I think that as freelancers or rather as content creators or people who are self-hired, it's harder to take a rest. There's no proper working hour. So rest is something that we have to define for ourselves or it will not happen.
True.
Would you, yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel about fixing a particular day? Like every week? Like,
At current, I have a day that I don't work lah.
which is
I
Sunday?
do lah, Sunday. Yeah. So Sunday, I intentionally don't work because it helps me to just
Okay.
rest lah. I feel that then everybody's resting, then I'm working, then I feel like, quite not fair, right, And then I will start working on Monday, which normally I have no mood. So I find that if I take one day off, I'm better than half a day off.
Yeah.
For me, half a day off is like, I need half a day to unwind from work, then proper rest.
Okay.
So for me, one day is ideal. Sometimes it's Sunday off, sometimes it's Monday. Because Sunday is, I find everybody not working, right? I can work better without distraction. Then Monday, everybody trying to catch up with what I delivered on Sunday, right? Then I can go and watch movie. So yeah, it alternates whether Sunday or Monday depending on what's happening that week lah.
Okay. So what I've been trying to do is like, okay, so I've picked up that tick thing where I put my to-do list, right? I have to check. Sundays, I have been trying to do the light thing. So that to me is like, very lightweight, like, I don't know, more routine stuff. Somehow I feel like, okay, it's just getting out of the way. And then a bit like your cleaning house lah, but mine is maybe like updating my accounts or whatever. And then come Monday, it's when I actually get back into the thing. But I realized, right, that when I actually just don't do lah, go out lah with friends lah, then it actually gives me more space to be more creative, more energy to come back into the week. So I think that rest, in a way, is very important. I think the other thing that I've been trying to do is to say, okay, I'm going to work from 9:30 to 5:30 and I'm going to chill after that. And then it didn't work. Because I finished at 5:30. There was one day lah when I tried this 5:30 and I said, I'm just going to concentrate on one particular facet of my life because I think I'm like doing too many things. And at the same time, sometimes feel like I'm not doing anything at all.
it's a frustrating and confusing.
So then
feeling.
I finished at 5:30 and then I'm going to break for dinner and then I sat back and then now I do what?
I find that as a freelancer, back when I was staying with my mom, it's easier. Because I had to discipline them that 9 to 5 I'm working, therefore I forced myself to work 9 to 5. But when I live alone, it's harder to follow the schedule because there's really no one who like waiting for you to finish work at 5. So like last time my mom said, after 5 she roughly finished already, right? Then she would say, after this we go park and dinner. So that was something that makes me cut off work. But now I live alone, right? There's no reason. So the discipline for me has been a bit lacking in that sense.
Yeah.
Especially now that I don't have regular clients. Like back then, my first 5-10 years of my freelance, I have clients that work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Clients like Microsoft or Windows or whatever is it, right? And then I need to attend to their emails within 9 to 5 because there's a working hour.
Yeah.
So it really helped me to like wake up and let's get this work done.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when I don't have clients that's 9 to 5, because now clients are not 9 to 5.
Correct.
So it really ruins the entire routine because clients start talking after working hours. So it become irregular and overwork kind of thing. So rest is becoming a little bit impossible because it's almost forever. So it feels like my life now is very no differentiate between work and play. It's because I might feel like, cannot really work now. Then my mom said, let's have lunch. Then we have a 2 hours lunch, just come back. And then, okay. So, and then I feel guilty for the 2 hour lunch because I could be more productive if I just have an instant noodle and stuff like that. It really changes the ball game, I find. Now that there's no 9 to 5 in the corporate world, it affects everyone else who was not in the corporate world.
Yeah, so I've been meeting friends who are just working around the clock until like midnight. I'm thinking, surely something is wrong with that. Why are we expecting our people to clock off work and then go back and work some more? And then why am I expecting that on myself as well?
Correct. It's more of like, okay, those people who have bosses from hell then have that kind of thing. But we are self-employed and we are
also doing
applying that to ourselves. For me, the question is it guilt? Is it because my work quality time is no longer as high quality as before? Therefore, I feel like I always have to make up for it? Or is it because I just want to do more? But then in trying to do more, my quality or my productive level is dropping.
Right.
So how do we balance it? I think what I started intentionally this year was I wanted space to be creative. That's why I tell you that, hey, certain of our projects, let's just keep it to these 2 states or these 2 initiatives in the project and don't like take up more because even though we can or we think we can, I wanted that space to actually breathe and live life, you know. And that for me is something that I have to say the last 3 months, despite the musical, like, wow, Gina, 1 week KL, 1 week JB, 1 week KL, 1 week JB. That traveling time is like my rest time. It's where my brain sort out. Like, okay lah, don't overthink. You're just driving and the brain just sorts itself out. Like, okay, you can do this, cannot do this. And then I think so much for what? Reach there then do lah. You know? And that was for me the unwinding part of a lot of things. Unwinding from work. And then when I'm finally in JB, because it's a production, how I schedule my work was I'm needed only 4-5 hours a day. And then I try to say, okay, 4-5 hours a day is the production. I spend 2-3 hours to catch up whatever that's not production as best as my mental space can.
As in your other things.
Yeah. So in total, there's probably only 8 to 9 hours of work. And the rest of the time, I just play. But my definition of play is I sit around and then watch other people work. And then go like, hey, you're editing, like you know. But my brain is not working per se. So that's why I felt even though the 3 months was supposed to feel hectic, it didn't because I had a lot of this arranged downtime.
Okay. So maybe after the break, we can talk about structures that might help us to disengage from work for a while. Today's episode is in support of the YWCA KL's brand new initiative called the YWCA Community Oasis. If you would like to be involved in greening up a space right in the middle of downtown KL, reach out to us on social media, YWCA KL.
Just say, I would like to green the place too.
Yes.
So actually, right, I think that when you say structure to disengage from work, right, the biggest culprit or obstacle I find is always guilt. Guilty that I'm not working because there's a deadline piling up. Why am I not working? Even though actually I have finished my 10 hours quota.
Interesting.
For me, it was always guilt.
For me, I don't think it's guilt. For me, I have this desire to get away from this overflowing to-do list.
So you go like, hey, I'm trying to shorten the list. I'm just trying to shorten the list.
What I am trying to do is being able to focus on something at the right time without having other things distracting. But I'm not finding it very effective at the moment. For example, there was one day that I felt like, okay, just before the show, I thought, I'm just going to chill today. And then I'm going to run through my song list. I'm going to prep my brain. And then I'm going to have 1 hour to just get into the zone, do my makeup and everything. And then I don't know why, something popped in my notification or my email. And I just thought, let me just do this one thing so that it won't kacau me after that. Because I don't like, I'm like in the zone and then suddenly I just take out my phone. I don't know why. Like if I'm not on airplane mode and there's something there that's just, that again. So I thought, let me just get that out of the way. So, okay, I'm going to send this to you. And then after that, don't talk to me until Monday, kind of thing. But it actually disrupted my prep. Like, because if that took half an hour, you only got that 3 hours. That meant that my prep and, getting into the zone and the makeup time was now half an hour. And then I find that I have to rush through that half hour. So examples like this, it's like that digital thing that people can anytime pop in and demand your time. And sometimes I think if I had just prepped all this in advance, then maybe people don't have to chase me. And therefore, I think it's not guilt so much as trying to preempt all this and get ahead. But the thing is, it will never finish.
Correct. I think today's episode is turning into a productive episode. But
Sorry.
I actually wanted a productive episode in the future because there are a few things that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So maybe you go back to rest.
Rest, yes.
What's your definition of rest?
Definition of rest is disengaging.
From work lah.
From work, yeah.
Without feeling guilty lah. Or without having it weighing in your head. You're trying to
not guilty, but not feeling like, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this.
Yeah, which is actually not rest if you have to sit down there and think about all these things.
Exactly.
So what would you do to take a rest?
Ideally,
she said ideally like she never had a rest, but yeah, correct. She started the episode by saying she didn't get a rest.
I don't know, taking a walk in the park. I think that for me is the most mind-clearing thing. So when I was talking about structure just now, that was actually what I meant. Rest to me does not necessarily mean sit down, sleep and do nothing, right? It's just...
But it could also mean that for some people.
It could mean that for some people, yeah. And sometimes taking a nap in the afternoon, that is rest when I need it. I used to have this routine that around 5:30-ish, I would stop what I was doing and then before dinner, I would just do exercise in my room, right? You know that. And I was like,
you should put the routine back.
And until now, I'm like, I need to do that because I can feel my health and my fitness going downwards. It's been I haven't done it since maybe 5 months already. I actually miss it because I really enjoyed that time when I'm just, even though it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you know, of just doing that and letting the oxygen come into my brain and feeling like I'm doing something for my body and for my fitness. But for some reason, I find like it's hard to stop and do that. Like just to jump back into that routine. And how do you okay, fix this structure. I'm going to do this.
I tell you how?
How?
Oh, I can tell you how. Okay.
Wow.
So actually, because I find that I needed to unwind to get proper rest.
Yeah.
But I don't have time to unwind. Let's say I have only 3 hours for rest, but if it takes 3 hours to unwind before I can hit rest, and my rest time finish, then I need to minimize my unwinding lah. Okay? So what I do is now, on my to-do list, I schedule rest.
Yeah, like I used to put my thing on the schedule, the exercise thing.
So I will schedule rest, and it's rest that is forced rest. Forced rest here basically means that I don't schedule exercise because exercise to me, I'm not forced lah. If I put 5 o'clock, I don't feel like it, I just sit on the chair. Okay? My forced rest is like, dear friend, let's go out for a coffee.
Oh.
But can we go for coffee that is a silent coffee? Like you sit down and read your book, I sit down and stare at my coffee. Yeah, because just now I was going to ask you, I'm not sure if that is rest to me. Yeah, so I will make dates like that. I will say, let's have a silent meal or silent coffee. We just meet up and just order coffee. You read your book, I read my book, or I do my drawing, whatever is it, within that 2 hours. And that forced me because I cannot just tell my friend cancel. I mean, I can do that once a while lah.
I understand. Because you already booked somebody's time.
I already booked someone's time. So in order to rest, I booked someone's time to make sure that I get that rest. If that makes any sense. So I did that quite a lot in JB. Where I know that, okay, I'm going to work 6 hours tonight and I'm ready to work 4 hours. If I don't take a break now, I might end up working because there's nothing to do in my room. Because my room, it's not my room lah, it's just a hotel room or hostel room, right? Then I would tell my friend, hey, you're free, we just go and explore a new cafe. Eat food, but don't talk about anything deep because my brain is quite fried. I actually tell my friend that. But if you have to talk about something deep, then tell me lah. You know, it must be deep enough to draw me away from work. Or let's don't talk lah. Let's just have some quiet time together. Like it also
it's
forces.
like what? Press your phone, read book.
So it forces my friend to also do that. He was just like, oh, I need a break from my husband. Can you come out? Okay, can. You know, so she needs a break from her husband. I need a break.
About a break from
then we just sit down. Because when you're a housewife, taking a break from your family member is like taking a break from work. Yeah.
Creating your own space and time.
Correct. So I think when I was not disciplined enough to have rest on my own, I started to apply rest that way. Schedule it and make it accountable with someone, but telling that someone, hey, I'm using it to unwind and rest. So don't ask me about work. You know, like don't ask me, oh, how was your production? I'm like, I didn't come out to talk about my production.
So you have like rules lah.
Kind of unspoken rules lah.
Don't cross that. Don't cross
Correct.
that. Yeah.
So there are times that we go out just to talk, but there are times that we are just taking a break from our own life and meeting at this point together to take that break together. If that makes any sense.
There's one thing that I find I have been doing. I don't think I've been doing on purpose, but I've been giving online classes. Please, this is not an invitation for my work. I've been giving online one-on-one vocal classes. And my class is in my room because I put this room where it's just the keyboard and the computer lah, and my speaker and So I discovered that after my classes, because I normally feel quite drained after that, and then I find myself sitting in that same chair, maybe just doodling on the piano or just sitting and pressing phone or scrolling or whatever for the next 20 minutes, half an hour. And to me, that is just me in my own space.
That's good. Actually, good that you talk about scrolling phone. I find that playing games on phone, mindless game, is not rest.
I know sometimes I want to play. I cannot find game on my phone.
A lot of people I know they play mindless game lah. You know, like those Candy Crush lah, crush.
Because I actually feel tired because
correct. Yeah, your eyes are focused there, and then your brain is actually subconsciously working quite hard to win the level, even though you think you're not winning the level. A lot of people consider that rest, but I find that when I actually pick up my phone and play a mindless game like that, after an hour, time passes super fast. After you crush, right?
I feel tired. Next level,
I feel tired. I don't feel rested, even though I wasn't thinking about work.
So this one is a very disengaged scrolling. Like in another episode, I was saying I don't really scroll. I don't really know what's happening in my friends' lives through social media, but it's just...
So to me, like watching dogs video, or in my case, panda video, right, can be relaxing because you're not thinking. You don't have to think about whether the video work or not, you know? So I know that I'm super, super stressed when I watch a comedy stand-up show, because I'm not even a comedy stand-up people lah. Like I needed some talking that like lame joke, people laughing. Not even I laughing and go like so lame joke, I don't even laugh, right? That to just loosen up the brain, you know, in order for me to just rest proper lah. But at the end of the day, I think rest is really just doing something that disengage you from work entirely. And with today's technology and fast-paced world, it takes longer to reach rest mode than before. Not like last time, finish work, clock out, rest mode. Now you clock out, you bring the burden in your subconsciousness.
So I suppose it's also finding those pockets when it's easier to disengage. So for example, like when I finish a class, because I've been so engrossed in the class that I really cannot remember anything else on my to-do list.
So that can actually be a rest.
Yeah, so because I've already disengaged, student has left the room now. I'm like, it's just zoned there for a while. You know.
Correct.
I noticed I also do that after my gigs, after a concert or whatever, which because I don't do so often now, so maybe I don't have many of those moments. But yeah, literally just zone. Even before I remove the makeup, you're just sitting there, and because there's actually nothing else that is occupying your mind, because that took 110% already, 120%.
I totally understand that feeling because when I was in JB doing the production, people always think that the 5 hours I spend doing production is the most tiring work. But it's something that brought me out of my paperwork, my
Exactly.
90%, right? So even if I'm doing my 150% there, proper work, it felt like a break because the brain was not engaged with any other work.
And it's a total focus, a total
Oh my gosh.
immersion.
We use other work to consider it as a rest.
No lah.
We are crazy.
No, but I think it's also rest because now life requires you to multitask and just being able to focus on
But
just
it's
one
so
thing.
strange leh. It's so psycho leh. We
Yeah.
use other work to consider rest
Correct lor.
leh. We are so sick.
But it's like, yeah, after that, you're already disengaged from everything else. This one is done. So you're like, okay, I rest now lah. So I think for me, it's also then perhaps what I need to do is use Sundays as well. Because on Sunday mornings is when I go to church. It's
Correct.
when I totally disengage. I haven't started thinking about work. And then I can come back and don't jump into it so fast lah. Although sometimes I get inspired lah. You know,
Okay.
in the morning, and I feel like, oh, I need to do this. But I suppose if you're inspired in the moment and you just want to do, it's okay lah. But maybe don't come back and purposely jump into the next thing
Yeah.
lah. I think, yeah.
So for me, starting the day without having to leave the house early is rest.
Mm.
Even if I have to leave the house, let's say at 8 on a weekend just to meet a friend, when I come back, I'm tired.
Oh yeah.
So I prefer like rest day is really just being at home and going out when I feel like going out and not make an appointment at 8 o'clock to have bagels and coffee, you know. So yeah, those are my definition of rest.
Interestingly, I feel rested now.
She's so strange. We're doing podcasts and she feels rested. Anyway, guys, have a good rest day on Labor Day. It's supposed to be rest day, not labor even more. So it should be rest day, but not Labor Day. I don't understand this. Okay, never mind. Just
It's
remember
to celebrate laborers.
Yeah, just remember to take proper rest during your rest days.
Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by two Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.
Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Cerita Suito and Gina Yap Layung.
Today's episode is recorded at Studio 2105.
Remember to click like and subscribe for the brand new episode next week.